Okay, folks, this will be a challenging one. I don't know how I'm going to pull this off, but hey, I've done heaps of shit. Let's see how we go. I always think negatively a lot of the time, thinking it's going to be really difficult, and then I finally managed to work my way through it. And most of the images I produce are pretty good, if not outstanding, from by my standards. I do occasionally I do eventually do what I call a bum note, where it's something that just turned out so shitty, whether it be through me being lazy or not thinking at the time that it could have been done differently, in a different way. And often, the old saying about hindsight, 20/20 vision of hindsight. You look at the picture and you think, oh, I could have done it this way, I could have done it that way, would have looked this better, would have looked that better, and whatever, folks, whatever. Let's see what we've got. Got here one of these horribly snooty magazines. I really hate this kind of snooty art. Like, yeah, so what if you live on the northern beaches? It's a nice place, for fuck's sake, but why be so fucking proud of it, like that? Stupid. This is what we're photocopying. This is an article related to framing of artwork, which I can't afford. And we're interested in utilising this piece here. I just hate the way, I can't afford to frame my pictures. I'm not rich, and I don't have a place to hang my work. I don't have a gallery that I am with. Galleries I don't get along with the art galleries. They're just a bunch of assholes as far as I'm concerned, and I don't have any I've never had my own one-person exhibition. I've only been in mostly amateur type setups where you enter your work in a competition, and part of the fun is not so much winning the prize, although that would have been a bonus, but having your work on display for the public to see, or whoever it is to see. And it really is a nice feeling to have your art hanging in an exhibition, even though it's just an amateur setup. And it really is quite a nice feeling to have your work hanging for a change, instead of it just being in boxes and being piling up at home, and you're not going anywhere with your work. Your work isn't going anywhere. It's not doing anything useful. You're not getting people in the public looking at your stuff. It's just hidden in boxes upon boxes and shelves upon shelves. You just don't have any. Your art is not garnering any, not being dignified, you could say. It's quite an indignity to be an artist and not have any kind of exhibitions or hangings. You just feel like you're worthless, and you're just a piece of scum to the art world. And the art world I don't get on with the art world, folks. I just don't feel any connection to it whatsoever. I've just given up on exhibiting my work in galleries. I just want to try and aim for the big time. I'm trying to get on the 6 o'clock news on Channel 9, but surprise, surprise, these swine like to exhibit in their show people who've already had art exhibitions. They want to show successful, well-established artists over at people like myself, who are an unknown quantity to them. To them, I'm an unknown quantity, that I don't have a place in the art world. And it really is quite an insulting thing, really, folks, to be an artist and not be recognised, to not have, artists are supposed to exhibit their work, not bloody have it sitting in boxes doing fuck all, that they're not an investment on or anything, they're not doing anything useful. Oh, sure, I'm hoping it'll be an investment that hopefully when I go to air, my material will appreciate in price. And I'm hoping to sell this work. It's piling up all over my unit and I'm not got enough space, and I have to get this shit to go to air on the 6 o'clock news on Channel 9, but Channel 9 just don't seem to be cooperating with me at all. They don't seem to care. They don't seem to have any knowledge, not any kind of concept that time is money, and I'm not rich. And I'm not a rich person. I can't afford this shit, folks. I can't afford to be constantly sitting in limbo doing fuck all because the news channels refuse to air my stuff because it's not mainstream enough. It's not fucking safe enough for their bulletin, and they aim their stuff at normal people and people who are rich, and they like to stick their noses up the arses of the rich and famous as well as the artists. So they're really like, they don't care. I'm not, to them I'm just a nothing. I feel like a nothing, folks. I don't feel like I have any belonging in the art world, even though I am an artist. Maybe they think I'm a bullshit artist. I know some people called me a bullshit artist when I was working for Xerox back in 1990, or was it 1991? And they called me a bullshit artist. So that was not a very nice thing to say to a young artist, budding young artist. I know I was working as a workshop photocopier technician back then, and these people were not terribly nice to me. They were not nice. I've met a lot of nasty people in my travels, folks. I have. I got bullied and teased throughout most of my life, up until I was about 9 years ago. So people used to treat me like shit. And I still get, now this is too far down now, or up. Gonna have to push it up, or down, or whatever it was. My memory's not good, folks. I think we're gonna have to enlarge it. But yeah, I've never had any commendations. I've never had any. I've never won any prizes in any art contest, incidentally. So I guess I figured that art. I never thought that art could be a revenue source. I made mistakes when I was young. If I didn't make these mistakes, my art would have been exhibiting and making money a long time ago. Unfortunately, I never did that, and I never took my art seriously enough, and this is the kind of shit I have to go through, is trying to interest a recalcitrant TV channel about my work, and it really is difficult trying to get them to respond the way you want them to get them to play your stuff. It's really difficult, folks. It really is fucking hard trying to compete on an uneven playing field. These rich people and these artists who have made it, the snobs that I call them, they're like the ones that they got it all going for them. They're getting enriched. The bitches from Channel 9 are enriching the rich and impoverishing the poor. No, I'm not accepting that, folks. I'm not going to let Channel 9 get away with it, because I'm going to keep making my fucking videos for as long as it's needed, as long as I need to, folks. I'm not going to give up. I'm not giving up, folks. I'm going to keep going. I may not be the favourite. I may not be successful yet. I may not be the one that looks like it's going to, garner any interest. I know I'm using a machine and not fucking paintbrushes and pencils or gouache, whatever fucking gouache is, or any of that sort of shit, mixed media. What I'm doing here could be called multimedia, because I'm using technology, and I'm not just using, it's not just a normal multimedia. It comprises photocopier art, and you could say video art, internet art, social media art. I'm using all this shit, all this electronic shit to get my work out there. And it is a form of, it's gone from just being photocopier art and it's become a form of multimedia art. So I'm trying my best using my talent and picked up and learned skills along the way to get my basic skills. Even though I had brain damage at birth and I have memory problems and shit, I can still manage this to keep this fort going. I do get help sometimes when things really go wrong and it's way out of my depth, but I can only do this for so long. This machine's getting old. It could break down any moment. It's more than 6 years old and spare parts were discontinued more than a year ago since this machine in 2023. So I'm living on borrowed time and I'm not rich. So I have to fucking work within my means as much as I can, even though it looks as if I'm going to fucking go under. But I'm not giving up until that happens. I'm willing to go under if I have to get my work out there, to get recognised and to get in touch with my partner who I want to marry. I get lonely, and loneliness is like 15 cigarettes a day, folks. And this has come up looking really quite interesting. I do wonder if I need to do a switcheroo or if that is the way that it's meant to be. This is a really difficult piece, folks. I'm going to try and do a switcheroo, I do think. But basically, yeah, it's really difficult getting recognised as an artist and trying to get the stuff you need in life, love and warmth and material comforts, home comforts you could call them. But basically, I really get lonely and it gets cold at night. And it's really hard to keep stay warm in this bedroom. It's horrible. So, yeah. And that's come up looking, I think that's even better. I do think that's even better. I think we can now call this demo quits.